Let's go over this 4K digital camera. I'm gonna go over all the different features of it, show you what you can do with it, and talk about who this camera is really for, all to help you make a better informed buying decision. So let's get started. All right, so let me show you what you get in the box here. Go ahead and open it up. Have the instructions. Okay, then we have a little lanyard thing that we can attach to the camera so we can put it on our wrist. And of course, the actual camera. So first impressions of the camera are it's really nice. Of course, this is not a high-end DSLR mirrorless camera. It has a plastic exterior here. Has the same look and design and layout as a lot of expensive cameras. We have our flip screen right here. It's nice that we can also see the screen just flips out. And we have a 1/4-inch thread on the bottom that most all cameras do. So we can mount this on a tripod or wherever we'd like to. Our buttons here, we'll go over all the different settings in the camera so you get a better understanding of how to use this. And what's nice about this is you have everything you need to start shooting right away. So you have even a lens hood. And if we look on the side, open this up, we have the Type-C connection and a 32GB SD card. That's really nice that this is included. Again, we're just ready to start shooting right when we get this product. Also the weight here, it's really light. Having more that plastic exterior makes it much lighter. So of course, pros and cons to that. It's not gonna be cumbersome taking it around, but then, it could be easier to break. For this being budget friendly, this does feel like a good build though. So this is a compact point and shoot digital camera aimed at beginners and content creators. So it shoots at 4K video and has 56 megapixel photos. And it's designed to be really straightforward to use, no complicated menus or settings to worry about. At this price point, it's definitely on the budget friendly side, which makes it a solid option for someone who wants a dedicated camera without a big investment, or someone who's just getting into using cameras. Okay, so let's go over some of the main features of this camera, and then I'll go over the menu settings and all the different buttons that we have here. So this does, again, shoot in 4K video at 30 frames per second and takes 56 megapixel photos. What that means in the real world terms is your footage and images are going to be sharp with good detail. And later in the video, I'll do a comparison between this digital camera and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So you can just compare, if you're considering, upping up your camera game and want a dedicated digital camera separate from your iPhone or camera phone, you can see the differences. So this is good for social media, YouTube, or just personal memories. And this gives you more than enough resolution. So go ahead and turn it on. Just press the top button right here. Get a welcome screen. And then we'll talk about the autofocus. So the autofocus is contrast detection. So all you have to do is just half press the shoot button, which is right here. Let's go ahead and focus on the mouse. Just half press it right there. And then you can see it just autofocuses onto the mouse. So it locks onto your subject. It grabs onto faces pretty quickly as well, which is really nice for family photos or selfies where you want everyone in focus without fumbling around. Just go ahead and take that photo, and just like that, it's autofocused and you can take the photo. So most cameras have this, your mirrorless DSLR cameras, they have this feature. Okay, then let's talk about the screen. So this has a 3-inch screen that flips all the way out. Go ahead and flip that around for you. And what's nice about this is you can see yourself while you're filming. So if you're vlogging or taking selfies, you know exactly what the shot looks like. And this is probably one of the most useful features for content creators, having this flip around screen. Okay, and this has a 16x digital zoom, which brings distant subjects closer. So keep in mind that this is a digital zoom, not an optical zoom. So there's some quality loss at the higher zoom levels. But for general use, capturing images of friends, family, wildlife from a distance, zooming in on travel scenes, it does a good job. So the zoom buttons are right here. And right now we're on the camera mode. So we can go ahead and zoom in. See the zoom, zooming in on my desk all the way. See my laptop, focus in a little bit more. So right there, so you have the zoom, you're really already ready to start shooting. Let's zoom out, you just hold it down as well. Okay, and then on the top of the camera, we have our standard dial that most expensive cameras have. We can cycle through the different modes. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we're on the camera mode right now. Turn it clockwise. We can go to setup, motion detection, slow motion, smile capture, self timer, multi-snapshot, and back to the camera. And we'll go over these different modes. But what's nice is just everything is right there for you. Really easy to cycle through the menu. And for beginners, this is great because you can stay focused on what you're shooting instead of figuring out settings. What's also nice is there is a built-in flash to this for low light situations. It's not going to replace proper lighting, but for indoor shots or evening photos, it helps brighten things up when you need it. Okay, and to use the flash, it's very simple. We have this little pad here, the top button with the light bulb. Go ahead and click on that. If we look right up here, we can see the flash is turned off. Click it once. Then we also have a light on the front that shines, so we can use this as well instead of the flash. You can see it's turned to a light icon. Press it once more. And then we have the flash. Go and take a photo just so you can see what it's like with the flash. And it quickly flashes. And one feature that's actually pretty useful is you can plug this into your computer via USB and use it as a webcam. So you just plug it in right there. So for your Zoom calls, streaming, or online meetings, you're getting better video quality than most built-in laptop cameras. The USB cable can handle both file transfer and charging, which is convenient. So I really like how versatile this is. You can use this as a webcam, and then if you're going out, you can just grab this from your tripod that you have this on, and you can just start shooting and then bring it back and use it as a webcam again. Okay, so now let's go on over a few more of the features. So let's go on the bottom to this M button first, press that, and then we can cycle through the different images that we've taken so far, just by doing the left and right arrows on both sides. And then we can delete them by just clicking the trash can or down button, go up, and then press the center button, okay. It was real quick to delete videos and images this way. And then we can press the M button again to go back to the camera. Okay, so let's go over the different modes. Okay, and then to the bottom right, we have the menu button. Let's go and click on that. We can cycle through the different menus. So let's just go through some of them here. So we have the resolution, click on that. You can choose the appropriate resolution that you want for your photos, a lot to choose from. And the resolution just depends on which one you'd want to use. Okay, then we have the beauty face, click on that. So it just enhances your face, this option. Okay, and then we have exposure, and this is just how much light we let into the camera. We can adjust it here by plus or minus 3. See, this does have mirrorless camera DSLR-like settings. Of course, these settings aren't as fully featured as you would have with a high-end camera. You can make some minor adjustments to these settings. Okay, and then the next one here, and then we have the white balance. And the white balance is just make sure that whatever is white in real life, that's what's captured in the camera as white as well. So we just have a few settings here, the auto, and then some of these presets. Usually on DSLR cameras, we can adjust this even further without just using presets. So the auto here is usually just good enough. Okay, and then we have the quality, super fine, fine, and normal. You can just experiment with these to see which image quality you like the best. Okay, next we have sharpness, just how sharp the image looks. And again, just want to experiment with it to see what is the best. Find that the normal is good enough. So just think of the crispness of the actual image. That's what the sharpness is. Okay, then we have the effects, black and white, sepia, red. So just your basic effects that you get with most just different photo editors or with some cameras. You have quite a lot to choose from, and just experiment with these to see which ones you like the best. Okay, next we have the ISO, and then ISO controls how sensitive the camera's sensor is to light. So a lower ISO, like 100 or 200, means that the sensor is less sensitive, which is great for brighter conditions and gives you the cleanest possible image. So just remember that the lower the ISO, the better the image. So a higher ISO like 800 or 1600 makes the sensor more sensitive, which is helpful in low light, but this can introduce noise or grain that you see in images. So let's go ahead and click on this, and then we have a few different options. 100, 200, 400, and then we have auto. So not that much to be able to adjust with the ISO. Again, just keeping it to auto is the best. Again, when you have a more expensive camera, you will have much greater range and control over the ISO. Okay, and then we go back to the menu, go down, we have a few more settings. Anti-shake is on, so that way when we're shaking the camera, we can make sure we get as stable of an image as possible. And then the final setting is the face detect. We have the face detect on. That way when we are taking photos of people, it'll automatically detect a face and focus on that face. When we use our little capture button, press it halfway down, it'll focus, detect the face, and give the cleanest possible image with the capture. Okay, and then the different settings on top here, let's just have a look at those. So we're on the camera right now. Go ahead and go to the video. Here we go. So same screen. Again, of course, just taking video with this. Then the next one, that goes to the setup. So we can adjust the date, power save, the beep, frequency, the format of the SD card, go one over, and it goes to the motion detection. So the motion detection lets the camera automatically start capturing when it detects movement in the frame. So this is intended for simple hands-free shots or basic surveillance style use. So no advanced subject tracking. So this doesn't have the advanced subject tracking like on higher end mirrorless bodies. Okay, so I'll show you how that works. So when we look in the upper left-hand corner, we see the icon changed to this running man. We'll just go ahead and press the shoot button. We can see that turns to red and it's now starting to capture. And it's gone ahead and stopped capturing. We can see the red dot in the middle stopped. I'll put my hand down here and we can see it starts capturing again. So again, it waits for that motion and then starts capturing. Okay, going on to the next one. That is the slow motion that we have set now. So that does exactly what it says it does. It just captures video in slow motion. Let's go ahead and show you. Let's go ahead and record. Scanning around. Okay, let's go ahead and play this back. Let me see how slow it is. So there is some slight jitter with this. So it's not specified the frames per second that this is captured in. I would imagine it's definitely not 120 frames per second, which would be a lot better for slow motion. You want a higher frame per second if you're recording slow motion, as this will provide the cleanest and less jittery playback for the slow motion. So it's definitely a more budget slow motion option, but it's nice that it does have this. Okay, then the next mode, this is the smile mode. So we can see the little smile right there. Okay, so pretty simple. Once active, the camera uses face detection to watch for a smile in the frame and then automatically triggers the shot. This is meant to help beginners and families get better timed portraits without missed smiles. So this is similar to the motion where I was just, waving my hand and it started recording. This will just wait for a smile. Next option, we have the self timing. Right now we have it set to 5 seconds. We can see in the left-hand corner here. So we can just go ahead and press shoot and it'll begin the countdown. Okay, and then the next mode, we have the multi-snapshot mode. So when this mode is set, when you hold or press the shutter once, it makes the camera capture several images back to back. This helps for moving subjects, kids, pets, sports, and so you can pick the best frame afterward. So we'll just take a photo, press. There you go. And we can see that it took a few images, captures, and go to the actual images and scroll through them and see the different ones that were captured. So you have 1, 2, and 3 of them. And those were all the different modes. Back to the camera mode. So that was a full rundown of this camera. So a lot of people ask why get a dedicated camera when your phone takes good photos. So let me show you the difference. I'm gonna take the same shot with the iPhone 15 Pro Max and this 4K camera. That way you can compare both of them to see the image quality. iPhone 15 Pro Max. 4K digital camera. So as you can see, for a budget camera, this thing holds up really well. And again, just having all these different options on the camera and it just being portable and lightweight, it really makes it a good camera. So one thing to keep in mind, this is a digital zoom, not an optical zoom. So at higher zoom levels, you'll see some quality loss. And if you need serious zoom capability, that's something to consider. Also, the autofocus is contrast based. So it's not going to be as fast as what you'd get on a higher end mirrorless camera. So for most everyday shooting, it's perfectly fine. But for the fast moving action, just keep that in mind. So who should get this camera? This is really for beginners who want a dedicated camera that's easy to pick up and use right out of the box. So So if you've ever been relying on your phone, but want something with better image quality and a more camera-like experience without the complexity of a DSLR camera, this fits that need. It's also a great option for teens or kids getting into photography. The controls are really straightforward. You know, they're not gonna be breaking a really high-end camera, and you're not going to overwhelm them with a bunch of different settings. It's also good for content creators on a budget who need something for vlogging with the flip screen that we have here. It works really well. And honestly, it just makes a solid gift. It comes with everything in the box, so someone can start using it right away. And if you're looking for a professional level performance or need fast autofocus for sports photography, this probably isn't the camera for you. But for everyday use, travel, family photos, casual vlogging, this absolutely delivers. So in my opinion, this is a really solid entry-level camera. You get 4K video, sharp photos, the flip screen for vlogging, and everything you need included in the box. For what you're paying, you get a lot of value here. So if you're looking for an affordable way to get into photography or need a simple camera for content creation, this is definitely worth checking out.